Let's talk about my February project. Man, the mistakes I've made and then repeated again in my life. Since February is a short month, I definitely wanted to avoid anything complex. And yet here I am. I started down a path that I know I shouldn't have gone down. It would have been a 2 or 3 month project, bare minimum. I'm an experienced developer, and I still let myself be led astray. Well, I wasn't led anywhere. I went willingly, even though I knew better. It started out simple enough. I wanted an integrated platform for client management, project management, and client invoicing. And that's it. That's all I wanted. Then it started growing, and then grew even more, and it just kept growing. Everything on the left I considered future work items. Everything on the right at the top level I felt was absolutely necessary to build a product that actually has some value. I wanted to do something useful. That's a no-go. I cannot do all of this in such a short time frame. And I can only prune so much until I'm shipping a Trello clone or a very small piece of Monday.com. I definitely want to avoid that. I've got 2 weeks to finish a project. I'm behind on nearly everything, including content creation. The last 2 weeks of February are going to be very hectic, to say the least. But I've got nobody to blame but myself. I do want to finish this project that I've started, but it'll be a work in progress for a while. I'll work on it as I can and hopefully ship it at some point this year. So I started scrambling. I went through my list of over 300 project ideas, trying to find something suitable that I can finish in a compressed time frame, and then I realized something. That could be a project in itself. I'm going to create a product to help manage and evaluate ideas. Over the years, I've done this many times in spreadsheets, looking at stuff like how attractive is the idea, is it profitable, how big is the possible market, who are the competitors, are there any gaps that could be filled, how high is the barrier to entry, are there open source or free alternatives. But not all projects are the same. Some you might evaluate with a single data point, like how profitable is it. And some you might evaluate with an entire set of criteria, like the ones I mentioned before. And you might evaluate them by ranking them 1 to 10 or 1 to 20, depending on how large your list is. Or you might rate them on a scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. Sometimes 1 is the best and sometimes 10 is the best. And projects often fall into groups. You might evaluate a set of B2B SaaS ideas completely differently than you would evaluate a set of local brick and mortar retail shop ideas.
And here's your friendly reminder to like and subscribe. We post new videos often for software developers, software engineers, and software architects. Thanks.
And you probably want to evaluate them multiple times. You'll almost always end up with different results, but all of this data has value though. So I'd want to be able to look at that data and see how it's changed over time. Simply recording ideas isn't enough though. They need to be fleshed out, and just, recording some rambling thought you have in the moment can be very beneficial down the road. I've used Notion for this in the past, and that definitely does help, but Notion doesn't really do spreadsheets very well. And you need some way to group them into buckets, like I mentioned before, so you aren't doing those comparisons to like a roofing company and a personal digital assistant business. That means you need to have either some way to track the idea's industry or tags or some sort of categorization to ease that comparison. So you've got all these digestible systems holding the ideas and all their information, and really no way to work on them coherently to systematize the data into a digestible format. That's the problem I'm going to try to solve. I know this is a very limited market, but that's okay. I'm okay with very niche stuff. It is something that I need though, and so I want to explore it. That's what these monthly projects are all about anyway. Exploration, starting, and more importantly, finishing. Shipping when it's time to ship instead of shipping when I feel ready and validated and confident enough to do it. So this is the feature set I'm driving towards. This is the type of scope that is doable in a month or even a weekend if you're feeling really productive. I'm going to translate this diagram into user stories and start coding. I've also decided to use Angular as the front end and Pocket Base as the back end. If you've never heard of Pocket Base, I'm going to put a card on the screen for a level 101 introduction to Pocket Base video that I did. I also did a series on Pocket Base and Angular if you're interested, and I'll put that in the video end screen. Pocket Base is like a single machine version of Supabase. It gives you auth, file management, and a database for your application. It has SDKs for JavaScript and Dart, and I actually really love it as a platform. Check it out. I'm going to have to move very fast over the next 2 weeks, so this is my best bet as far as technology choices go. I'm very good with both Angular and Pocket Base, and with this limited scope, I think I can finish it in 2 weeks. Again, check out the Pocket Base intro or series, and until next time, happy coding.